Welcome. The collective is here for your information, knowledge, and love. What we ask of you is to sit and listen. Listen to the vibration. Listen to the frequency. For it is the frequency and the vibration that you are seeking. It is the words that your human will process. It will all balance in time. So allow yourself to be adjusted to this frequency now. For it has been said, there is much chaos about your planet. There are many concerns across the planet. But as it has been said, human consciousness is rising. Now, this may seem to be a contradiction to many. How can you have this, but yet this? How can you have turmoil, but yet a rise in consciousness? See, it is this understanding of the basics of your existence, the basics of why the human existence is here. For you live within a planet of polarity. Polarity, division. That division can be used for good and it can be used for bad. Polarity. And it has been said, do not be distracted in those things that you cannot affect. The division that sits before you, it doesn't matter where you exist. Whether it is here in your geographic region of the United States or across the globe. There's polarity, there's division. And you can ask yourself, well, if there's polarity, one side or the other, where do I sit? What side of that do I sit upon? That isn't the question to be asking. Because you don't have to sit on one side or the other. The most difficult place to sit is right in the middle. And not be the wedge of division amongst friends, family, co-workers, humans. It is taking a different perspective of your own existence. For yes, you can create change. You can change many things in your existence. But this is the reflection point. Have you signed on a contract that you are to be the catalyst for that change somewhere on the other side of the planet, in another state, another neighborhood? Or are you to change within so that your consciousness is what changes around you? See, this is the most difficult time of many of your existences. See, it has been said that the human existence itself has been through many different points of turmoil, and it has, but it also has been reset. A new beginning. For humans themselves have been upon this planet for a very, very long period of time. And polarity has been part of that existence. But where you sit, where humanity sits today, where humanity is at this point, is well beyond any expectation of any of the journey that was forecasted for humanity.
You want to go outside?
There are moments that have been placed in front of you that could have been a point of reset. It could have been that point of reset for humanity to change a trajectory of all humanity. But yet, human consciousness overrode that. See, human consciousness is what is propelling you to the next level. But the further you get to that next level, think of it as a video game. The closer you get to the final level, this being your fifth dimension, because that is where you are ascending to, so that is your final level in the third and fourth, the more difficult it becomes. The more challenges that are placed before you, not for your divine essence to be challenged with, but your human essence to be challenged with. It is to temper you. It is to have you understand the true divine strength that each of you have, and not become the wedge of division. For here in your United States, yes, within less than 30 days you have an election, and there is much, much division that stands on either side. There isn't a right or wrong for either side. Many believe if this side wins or this side wins, there's going to be some sort of catastrophic event. That will not be allowed to happen. But it is understanding that point that you find yourself. How far on that side do you feel that you stand? Now, look at it differently. You're looking at it as far as an election for your country, a leader for your country. But take it down to the smallest level. If your belief is that you enjoy only the color yellow, but your neighbor across the street only enjoys the color green, do you have the same reaction to your neighbor because they have green? Are you the point of division because they wear green? There's no difference between understanding that and understanding an election for your country. An election for your country is a human aspect. It isn't a divine aspect, it's a human aspect. It is recalculating, resetting your understanding of where you sit within this consciousness. All of you, all humans, their consciousness is on a much higher level. But yet the human overrides that when necessary. And they override it to become a wedge. It is a difficult place. Human life is a difficult place. That's how it is designed. But it is understanding the beauty in each life. For if you cannot look across the street and see the beauty in the green shirt, the green existence, the human being that is a divine soul just as it is you, then yes, it is going to be difficult. Now, use that as you wish. Look across the planet to find another location. If you look at it from the human standpoint, yes, you're going to get angry, you're going to get frustrated, you're going to have turmoil in your life because that is how the human is designed, to insert itself because it feels as if it needs to do something. It needs to do something within consciousness. For all of the actors, all of the players have already been assigned their script. They know what to do. So if you feel that you have some essence that needs to be projected into something, it is addressing that essence and understanding where is that coming from. Is that your contract? Or is that your humanness? See, it's understanding where you stand within your own consciousness and what your belief versus truth is. Your truth, the only truth, is that you're a divine being. Your truth is a divine soul. Your belief is what the human wants to believe. It's how to rescript that. It's how to realign that. See, it is to have hope, and many do. Many believe and understand this unified field of consciousness is expanding, and it is. It's difficult to sense, but when you connect to it, you will understand. For when you are in that unified field of consciousness, there is no division. There's no turmoil, because it's pure consciousness. Now, it is also to understand your path as a human. It is difficult to stand by and be an observer as many things unfold in front of you. But here again, it is to understand what can you truly affect. And this isn't to be taken lightly. It is to understand it in a way in which, not to be naive about it, but it is to understand what can you truly affect. Yes, one vote does count from the human standpoint. But if you were to take the effort, if you were to take as much of that effort, that energy that is put towards being a wedge, one side or the other, and redirecting that to your divine essence, to the divine consciousness, to the unified field, this is where change begins. The human life is going to continue. Yes, that day is going to come and it is going to pass. Yes, there are going to be changes that take place, just as it does every other time that there is an election. It doesn't matter where upon the planet there is an election, there's always change. This is humanity. But it isn't to be wrapped in humanity to the point at which you have disdain for the individual across the street that has a green shirt. You're both divine beings. You're both here for an ultimate purpose. Each are living their own reality. Each are living their divine experience. So as you have remaining time left before this November time frame that here in your United States has set forth, take inventory. Step back. Be an observer of humanity. Set aside what you believe and allow the divine truth to be in its place. You still have to take the human actions. But when you take those human actions, they will have just as much weight as they need. Because what will be in place is a divine response. It isn't to forgo your humanness. That is why you signed on for this contract. This is why you've signed on for this experience. Do not lose hope now, for it is just beginning. For yes, your timeline is still on schedule. That first wave of ascension is just there at the doorstep. Do not lose hope now. For what lies in your future is much more significant than you even can imagine. But you must allow yourself to find a place in your own divine truth to understand where you stand. Do you support all of humanity? Or are you a wedge to separate humanity? For if you have questions, please begin.
Thank you very much for that reminder. That was beautiful. Since we're getting into some of the difficult human experiences, there are a lot of people who believe that these severe weather phenomenon that have been happening recently have been modified and that they're not completely natural, that they've been made to be more destructive on purpose. Can you talk about that, please?
For here too, it is to understand. It is to understand your individual reality point. Now, it will be addressed as your question is asked, but it is to first address your reality point. For in your lifetime up to this point, life and the reality point has been fairly stable. But as you all understand at this point, reality points are a bit fuzzy. They're a bit loose, as in multiple reality points bleeding into other reality points. So it is to understand where you are within your own reality point. It is understanding that what you may be witnessing is, yes, a very accurate truth as far as, yes, manipulation of weather. But it's also to understand that there's an aspect of that truth that it is Mother Nature cleansing. It is Mother Nature manipulating the weather. So understand that, can humans manipulate weather? That's the question you're asking. Is it something nefarious? Is a human taking nefarious actions to cause an outcome? For this has been the struggle for humanity from the entirety of humanity. Humans have always, polarity, humans have always tried to manipulate their own existence. Whether it is weather, whether it is food, whether it is longevity of life. So yes, your answer is a bit complex, but yes, it has been manipulated, but not in the nefarious ways that you believe. Humans, yes, have an interaction with it. They've not steered it, they've not manipulated in the way you believe. But they have adjusted the amount of rain, and again, it isn't for nefarious reasons. It is understanding that this calculation of what needed to be amplified was a bit over-calculated. Now, why would you have to increase the amount of rain? For the projections of the storms that you are asking about. Their original trajectories were to supplement drought-stricken areas, those that have not received rain in a significant amount of time. Once the calculated path of that storm was known, then that's where, yes, additional help for an increase of rain. But Mother Nature also then takes over. Mother Nature knows too that there is, and this will be the most difficult of the answers to humans to understand. Mother Nature is the one that ultimately directs where the storm goes. And so yes, there's been significant loss of life, significant damage to homes and locations. But she also knows that humanity needed to have an understanding of recalculating their own connections. Now, you yourself have asked the questions in the past of why must there be loss of life? Why must there be turmoil? Why must there be these challenges? For these are contractual understandings. Now, many are going to say, well, that's the easy way out. It is not. For those that were afflicted through these storms, it doesn't matter which ones. And yes, Mother Nature is the one that directed those storms to those locations. And yes, there, from the human perspective, it was catastrophic. Step back. Step back out of the visual of your humanness. Step into the observer of your own divine essence, your divine contract as a human upon this planet. What do you observe? You observe exactly what humanity is meant to do. Just as it has been said in the beginning of this message. Where do you stand? Left or right, up or down? What side are you on? There are no sides at that point. All have drawn together. Humanity has come together in a way that it needed to come together for greater change. See, that should be the focus, but it is not for your media, for your politicians. When you focus on humanity and how they have come together, this is also why it has been said from message to message, there is chaos, there is turmoil. It is going to become a bit more challenging. Now do you see? The challenges are what bring humanity together. That bringing together is an amplification point for consciousness. That is the changeover point. So when humanity isn't doing it on their own, just as it has been brought forward through your understanding of your origin story, there have been resets. But those that are involved, those that are aligned to this, they understood this. Not from a human standpoint, yes, it's catastrophic. From their divine self, from their contracted point, they understood that they have to endure this in order to bring this level of consciousness together. So yeah, these are very difficult concepts to understand, but you have to understand it from a divine place, that this is necessary. These are not easy subjects to bring forward and discuss, but you have to understand them. You are at the precipice of change into another dimensional point. Humanity itself is going to incur challenges. You've asked yourself, is there going to be significant loss of life? And yes, there is. So if you begin to see the breadcrumbs back a year, 2 years of asking the same questions, you're beginning to see the leading edges of it. Does this mean there's going to be more catastrophe? Yes. Globally, yes. but it is all purposeful for humanity to understand their divine place upon this planet. You have to understand this is not a time to challenge one another, but it is time to embrace one another. It is time to synchronize your energy, your divine sources. This is what has got you to this point. But the closer you get to that crossover point, the challenges grow greater and greater. There won't be complete devastation, there won't be complete loss of life. But those that have accepted those challenges, to be placed in the middle of them, they are the ones to be witnessed. They are the ones to be thanked. They are the ones to be held up, because they're a catalyst to bring humanity together. And that's where the focus should be.
Wow, thank you. So when you said it wouldn't be allowed earlier, did that mean nuclear war, or what were you referring to?
For it is to understand this action of, as many are concerned, nuclear war, there are many factors at play when it comes to any catastrophic loss due to a nuclear event. And not only humanity or humans that are involved, but also your divine beings, your galactic beings. So, no, there will be not a significant event that is going to affect the entirety of your global inhabitants. It does not mean there may be an incursion, but this does not mean it is going to be a global event. So you have to understand the precise questions also elicit a precise answer. Yes, there will be, but no, it is not to be a catastrophic event globally.
So in other words, there could be a small release of a nuclear
For
weapon.
that is on the potential of your timelines, yes. You have to also understand at the point at which humanity sits today, the closer you are to that point of ascension, think of it in this manner, the closer you get to that, the timelines that you see in front of you look very similar. They're very tightly bound. But because of the difference in energy between here and the fifth dimension, the closer you get, those timelines begin to separate, and you begin to see all of the filaments and all the magnitude of the different timelines that are involved. There aren't just 1, 2, 3, or 4. Hundreds, thousands of timelines that are involved. And the more you try to calculate which timeline is going to take place, there are another 100,000 timelines that begin to separate in front of you. So yes, that is a potential on your timelines.
Thank you for that. So with regard then to hurricane and disaster relief, Mark is wondering if, as light workers, is there a particular way that we should focus our energies to maximize our effectiveness in aid, since we cannot all be there in person?
For this individual amongst a small group that have regularly met within their own consciousness, you see, that wasn't for no reason. That was the schoolhouse, if it were. the training period. It is understanding what took place during those times where all gathered together to have one synchronized consciousness for an outcome. It is understanding how to unify and bring together multiple consciousnesses to one focal point to journey. That is the effort that needs to be put forward. It is utilizing what you have learned during that process and now begin to implement that across many different regions. See, it is correct to understand, yes, to bring together consciousness. And it is one of the more difficult things to do, but you have the skill set to do it now. It is understanding the process of locking together with one unified focus point for the greatest of outcomes. Now, yes, your focus point was that of a galactic being, but you also understand too the difficulties within that at the time periods now that are laying before you. Yes, disclosure, galactics to be among you are going to be soon, but you've had enough practice to understand how to bring consciousness together. So use that as your tool to unify localized consciousness. Then implement a container of energy around specific locations, amplifying that field of energy, that field of consciousness, so that all those that are working to provide aid, no matter who they are equipped, meaning they have sustained energy, they have sustained awareness, they have sustained comfort. It is amplifying that container so that all those that are working within it are raised up in their own consciousness. Now, one may ask, well, do I need to gain permission for all those that are in that location? No, for their consciousness has already been locked together within their own space. You are now providing a container around it to amplify it, to amplify all the work that is taking place. And you have to understand it starts small, building small containers, localized containers of energy, consciousness, to amplify it. Once that is complete, then encompass a number of those into a larger container, and a larger container, and a larger container. What this is doing, this is the understanding of it, is then you are creating a container of unified consciousness, localized for a particular region. So all those that are involved, whether they're within the areas that are devastated, or they are back at their communities, not quite sure what to do, they are then provided information through the consciousness field that is provided so they know exactly where to provide their assistance. And for what you're seeing there is truly what the unified field of consciousness that is all around you is doing. But this is how to localize it and expand it.
Thank you. So then all of those who are putting their consciousness together to affect the hurricane that just yesterday hit Florida, was that successful?
For if you watch the trajectory of that particular storm path, just as it approached the coastline, it began to shear itself apart. It began to disperse itself and not stay localized. Yes, was there significant damage? Yes, but not as catastrophic as it would have been if the consciousness container was not placed around it. Many believe that you can send energy to it, you can do all sorts of activities, and you can, but you have to have a focused container that is the most effective. And it was. If you observe the trajectory of that particular storm, you'll see just as it approached the coastline, it began to shear itself apart, fragment, even though, yes, the sustained winds and all the damage still took place, but it wasn't as significant as it was forecasted.
Thank you. So all of that was pretty heavy. Let's try to lighten it up a little bit. Jessica Ann says that last week she had a precognitive dream that closely predicted what would happen with the hurricane and Lake Lure. And also she's noticing that she and her partner are having more coincidences where they're thinking of the same thing, or she can anticipate what her partner wants without being told. Can you talk to her about what's happening, and is there a way she can tap into this more?
For you are experiencing exactly what many are wanting to experience. This cognitive connection. Now, from the human standpoint, that is a technical term of joining consciousness. What can you do to precipitate this? What can you do to increase this? Play. It is as simple as playing with it, having joyous moments with it. Once you become serious, once you put on the human serious face, then that's where the challenges come. But yes, what you saw, you were tapping into that particular timeline, and you saw precognitive understanding of what was to take place. But here's the challenge for you. It is when you see those things, what can you do about it? Was there something you could have done to change the outcomes? No. But what you can do immediately when you have the precognitive moments of understanding of what is going to take place yet in the future, amplify a container of consciousness around it, preparing all those within that area, or whatever a decision may be. It may be something for work, it may be something for a friendship, but you have a knowing of the future. Set a conscious container around it, allowing your consciousness and all involved to be connected to it so that you can begin to amplify that energy. And as far as your partner and this aspect of communicating, an aspect of understanding each other before anything takes place, sit and become a child and just play with it. Enjoy it, because this is where humanity is moving towards. You see, where humanity is challenged by it is they do not wish to have anybody reading their mind, because there are so many secrets within the human mind. But when you release from the secrets, and you're not challenged by anybody else seeing what might be there, this is what your ancestors had the capability of. Your ancestors, so many thousands of years ago, had no need for words. They knew exactly how to communicate without any physical word language. This is where humanity is moving towards in the future. You're getting a glimpse of it, so play with it, honor it, enjoy it.
Wonderful, thank you. Lauren G is wondering how she can strengthen her connection and communication with her guides.
But first, deconstruct any names that have been associated with them. Deconstruct any preconceived visions that you might have of them. But just for a short moment. If you have strong connections with them, that's fine. But to strengthen that, it is to break down the barriers of what you've implemented over time, to reset the table, if it were, of energy that you're connected to. And so then it is to call upon the energy of your guides to teach you, to reteach you your connection points, reintroducing themselves to you, but in a much different and more clear aspect of understanding. And what you'll find in time is that there will be no need for, oh, this is so-and-so, or this is so-and-so, and this is what they look like. Because the energy will be so strong, you'll know immediately who it is, and there's no need to address them as such. And see, the limiting factor with humans and their guides is they believe that their guides, or their angels, or any other being, sits on a pedestal much higher than themselves, and that is incorrect. That is a hurdle that the humans have placed upon themselves. All energetic beings, all divine beings, all angels, all aspects of energy that wish to communicate to you, you stand amongst them, shoulder to shoulder, eye to eye. And when you understand this, and when you become comfortable with this, it opens up a magnitude of connection that you can't even comprehend. But it's the limiting factors that humans place upon themselves by what their belief system is. Break the belief systems away, and more will connect with you much quicker and much stronger. And then you can ask any question you wish, and it will be provided to you.
Fantastic, thank you. Kathy L. wonders if she's still on the timeline to meet her great love by the end of 2024.
For that does hold true, but it is to have this understanding. Begin to visualize in a way that is different than you have in the past. For yes, it is a projected intersection point. And there still is time, yes. But the more you focus on that being your point of focus for this year, the energy that accumulates behind that point of focus is also a pushing factor. So from today, moving forward, set your intention deeply upon paper. Write out, script out exactly what you are looking for. Place that wherever you wish, wherever you accumulate your divine wishes. Speak your intentions directly out to the universe, then forget about it. Leave it up to the universe. For the more you focus, the more it pushes that energy forward, the more it has the potential of pushing it further and further out. Because it is a point of focus, it is a point of, can be said, a point of distraction. Because it is distracting you from what you are to be doing, what you are to be maneuvering your own energy in, and it is diverting some of that energy for that intention. The intention has already been placed. Re-solidify that intention, hand it to the universe, slide it under whatever you wish, and then forget about it, and then allow all of it to unfold just as it needs to, just as you wish it to.
Very helpful, thank you for that. Holly P. wonders if any of her guides have a message for her tonight.
or the presence of Mother Mary is here, and what her energy wishes to convey is this. For it is a period of time that you are currently in that requires this divine mother energy. It isn't for healing, but it is for comfort. It is for security. It is for clarity. Now, as she focuses her energy towards you, your divine feminine is going to reawaken. It's going to reawaken in a way that it hasn't for some time. And it's going to, it will overtake you. Now, why is this purposeful? For this moment of overtaking in the divine feminine allows Mother Mary to enter in comfortably so that you can then be supported, comforted. Have that security of knowing that all the decisions that lay in front of you have already been answered. They've already been allocated. And it allows you the comfort of knowing that you have not made the mistakes that you believe are there. Just as a mother comforts a young child when they've had difficulty, this is what you will be experiencing. So, you have to allow yourself to step into that place, that divine feminine aspect, so Mother Mary's energy can settle in with you, and just take time for yourself to be blessed, knowing exactly that all has already been answered.
Very good, thank you for that. So Chris T and Chris S, while sitting in the treehouse during these channelings, have felt a thumping on their chair. What energy was that, please?
This is your the terror being that surrounds your property, correct? Echo. For Echo enjoys his time here on the property, and also understands that when those that enter into the treehouse and they find themselves in that deep point of reception, for he is a bit of a prankster, for he will come around and nudge you, in this case, thump the floor just beneath you to become aware that this is an important message, as in, if you are sitting in a class and you tend to doze off, it is to awaken you back into the message. He understands what is taking place. So, as you depart, as you leave this space, give a thanks to Echo. He's there. He's always present. He's always at hand when you enter into the treehouse.
And he's here tonight.
For he is.
Tell him hello.
And it has been done.
Thank you. So there's this new phenomenon. I don't think it's called a modality, but it's called focused life force energy, FLFE, and it's getting a lot of positive feedback. Can you tell us what it is, and is it beneficial?
For yes, it is beneficial. For what it is to have this understanding. For many modalities exist, you understand this, for they've always existed. There, within the ether in which you exist, there are more modalities than you can comprehend. The individuals that were provided access to this understanding, for they understand, yes, and you as well, and many others understand life force energy. But what was provided to them is how to amplify this, how to direct it and amplify it in a way in which, now, this can be localized or it can be expanded to a great area. It can be localized, yes, even down to the human body, to a specific point on the human body. Oh, it is to understand the use of technology in this. This is just an aid. The true amplification of this energy comes from their understanding of how to connect to the life force energy that exists in all things, similar to dialing a phone number, similar to a coordinate of your map locations. It is understanding, they understand how to focus that, and this is what has been divulged to them, is how to take life force energy, point it in a specific direction, then increase the amplitude through the greater field of energy that encompasses the planet, which then is localized to you, to your property, to wherever you may be. For this is growing. It is going to expand much quicker. There are going to be additional experiences that are going to come about with this. But it is amplifying the existent life force energy that is upon the planet, but localizing it for the greatest good of humanity.
Thank you. And what positive changes can humans who experience this expect?
For with any modality that works with the human body, it is understanding the localized energy that is placed, whether it is through any hands-on experience of energy or this amplified life force energy. For it is intelligent in a way in which it knows exactly where to localize within the physical body. So if you have a specific ailment, it can be directed directly to that ailment. Now, it isn't an immediate change, because the body itself has to adjust molecularly to that. And once it does, then that's where the true healing begins. Now, in general, the physical body, anytime that the life force energy within the physical body is amplified, the body itself will feel as if it is fragmented at first, then relocalized, put back together, and then it is an understanding of where the consciousness falls within it. And then the amplification of that consciousness for that moment, understanding the greater placement of their existence within their own physical body, within their own physical location, within the greater understanding of this experience of being human. So it isn't just one understanding of what are the benefits. The benefits range everything from any ailment with the body to having a greater expansive understanding of one's consciousness in this experience as being human. Here too, why is it now that it's being utilized? It's very similar to what has already been discussed throughout this channel. It's the aspect of the overall understanding of human consciousness upon the planet and amplifying that. At any point that there is a modality that can increase the activity of human consciousness, then it will be brought forward. So for those that are practitioners, for those that are exploring different modalities, begin to understand that Everything that exists out in front of you that you do not see is already there. Allow yourself to tap into it and bring forth new modalities that assist human consciousness, the elevation of it, the increase of it, allowing life force energy to amplify, utilizing tools to assist this. For you also understand there are galactic projects to amplify the human life force. These are all precursors to that point that is out in front of you. It is all to assist the physical body, the conscious body, the energetic body, the existence of humanity.
Wonderful, thank you for that. And so lastly, would you say that it's more concentrated than a Reiki session, for example?
For it has two different sensations. For a Reiki practitioner will open the channel of life force energy into an individual. Now, dependent upon the sensitivity of the individual, they may feel as if it is just the same as this modality. But for those that are not sensitive, this modality may be what cascades them, changes them to receive Reiki in a different way. So either or, the one that receives Reiki may sense your energy flow, but when they are connected to this modality, they are increased even more. So one can switch it on or one can amplify it.
Makes sense, thank you very much. Donna Kay, who's with us, do any of her guides have a message for her this evening?
Allowing this understanding to be the higher self perspective. For as you have become aware of this new journey, this new experience in your lifetime, this transitional point from employment to no employment, it is to understand this is just a new beginning, not an ending. There are opportunities that have been placed within your awareness that lay before a decision point. Now, the decision point is yet in the future, but the opportunities have already been placed in your awareness. These are the things that distract you at times, but these are opportunities. It is adjusting yourself a bit differently than you have in the past to new opportunities. It is understanding the focus of energy that is required to allow the discernment to guide you into the appropriate opportunity. It is understanding yourself first. What is it that changes your energy in a way that puts a smile on your face, quickens your step, takes the time from you, meaning you lose yourself in what it is. See, this is where you're being guided. You are guiding yourself towards it. This is what you must be observant of. So allow yourself a moment of reflection of these different opportunities. Now, it isn't as clear as an opportunity of, oh, well, it will be this, and it will be that, and it will be this. No. These are opportunities that have come through conversation. These are opportunities that you already know inside that you wish to do, but yet struggle with how to do them. Once you begin the energetic effort of moving in that direction, see, it's all of what has been learned in the past of your own self to guide you in the right direction, and the appropriate use of your energy to manifest it. This is just a beginning. It isn't an ending. Yes, you're utilizing your time appropriately, but yet you know that there is something in your awareness that is drawing your attention. Follow that path. That is what is ultimately bringing the smile to the face, quickening the step, having the enjoyment that you're seeking.
Beautiful, thank you. Are there any parting messages for us prior to closing?
Understand all of what has been brought forward. These are not warnings. This isn't to change the energy, but these are reflective points for one's existence. This is where all of the teachings, all of the knowing, all of the self-reflection, all of the healing is now put into action. For what you have in front of you is a beautiful opportunity. Humanity is not going to be reset. You're well past that. You have shown all those that are cheering you on that you're well past that. Human consciousness does not need to be reset. Take advantage of that. Allow yourself to divinely connect yourself to that unified field. Expand your consciousness. Understand how to harness your consciousness. And bring unification, not division. Look across the street at your neighbor and embrace them in a hug, heart to heart. You may not need to do that physically, but it is soul to soul that you embrace them, to let them know that everything will be okay. Allow yourself to walk down the street and embrace all those that you see in front of you with that same embrace, allowing them to know everything will be okay. It's not the outcomes of humanity. It isn't the human outcome. It's the divine outcome. For even in your scriptures, it is said that this day shall pass. Yes, it will. And the next, and the next, and the next. That is what has gotten you here today. Each of those days have passed, no matter the struggles that were prior to it. You are here today, purposefully. You are here today to make a difference in the consciousness of humanity. This is where it is moving. So, thank yourself, thank your neighbors, thank everyone around you, because each of them have had a part in it. Do not allow yourself to be entangled in what your human sees, and allow that to be the understanding as you move forward.
Outstanding. Thank you very much for your presence this evening.
And thank you, and as always, the collective is here for your information, knowledge, and love.